Our story begins with Anthony Robles, a boy born without a right leg growing up in Mesa, Arizona. He was raised by his hardworking mother Judy, who worked at Target to support the family. Despite facing prejudice and physical challenges, Anthony developed a strong and determined spirit.
When you live, lose you die.
In high school, he found his passion for wrestling and joined the school team. At first, people doubted his ability, but through relentless effort and determination, Anthony became a skilled wrestler.
Smart. Get in center, get in center. Center, center!
Even during tough matches and moments of doubt, Anthony always pushed through with perseverance. After graduating, Anthony planned to wrestle in college. He was offered a full scholarship from Drexel University, covering all his expenses. Surprisingly, though, Anthony wasn't thrilled about it, and he just excuses himself by saying,
Thank you, Mr. Sherman, just for everything. It means a lot.
You bet.
I do actually, I need to be somewhere right now. So, thank you again. Mom, I'll see you at the hotel.
Anthony's family included his mother, Judy, his stepfather, Rick, and his step-siblings, who adored him. However, Rick often treated Anthony harshly for reasons that weren't clear. When Anthony hesitated about accepting Drexel's scholarship, Rick mocked him, pointing out his weaknesses and telling him,
Come on, man, if I had your opportunities, I wouldn't be looking up convicts' assholes for dime bags, would I?
Rick's behavior was cruel, and his dismissive attitude affected both Anthony and Judy, though no one addressed it at the time. The next day, Anthony's high school coach, Bobby Williams, encouraged him to apply to more colleges. But Anthony insisted on Iowa College because it had a reputation for producing great wrestlers, even though most doubted his chances of getting in.
There's other schools besides Iowa.
And there's other medals besides gold.
Look, every big college has seen you wrestle. Iowa, Cornell, Oklahoma State, and so far, Drexel's the only one that made the offer. And I gotta tell you, it's a good offer.
Anthony also worked part-time at a jet club as a cleaner, and his colleagues supported his dreams. Another coach, Shawn Charles, explained to Anthony how competitive Iowa College was and told him that walking on at ASU's wrestling team might be his best chance. Still, Anthony refused to give up. That evening, when Anthony got home, Rick mocked him at the dinner table purposefully to trigger his anger, even going as far as making subtle threats.
Why you gotta get lippy with me, huh? Why? You fight boys, not men. I'll teach you a lesson real quick.
Judy tried to intervene, but was too timid, fearing Rick's anger. The tension eventually settled, and after Rick left, the family relaxed, sharing laughter and ice cream. The next day at work, Anthony received a rejection letter from Iowa College. Feeling crushed, he talked to a friend and coworker who helped him consider his options.
I want you and go to a school that you cannot afford, or move away to Drexel, a school that does want you for free.
That night, Anthony found Judy crying in the living room. She tried to hide her tears, but Anthony noticed a hole in the wall. He seriously asked her what went down, and she said,
And I was in a mood, and I accused him of something that turned out to not be true.
She also revealed that Rick had left them, and Anthony comforted her, promising to stay by her side. Eventually, Anthony joined ASU as a walk-on wrestler. On his first day, Coach Shawn warned the team that only 22 out of 55 wrestlers would make the final roster. Anthony trained harder than ever, determined to prove himself. During practice, Shawn emphasized the importance of balance and sparred with Anthony to show him how critical it was. Later, Anthony meets with Bobby, who advises him to make his one leg as strong as two. Inspired by Bobby's words, Anthony trained tirelessly that afternoon. He even hiked the Phoenix Mountains to build endurance, pushing himself to the limits and be as competitive as his teammates. The next day, the team hiked to the mountain for training, and Anthony showed remarkable bravery. Despite falling midway, he refused to be helped or aided, and he went on alone.
Sure? Yes, I'm good, Dad. Go ahead, keep going.
By the time he reached the summit, the team was already resting, but they were definitely impressed by his determination, especially Coach Shawn, who watched and quietly muttered,
Lord have mercy.
That night, Anthony returned home to find Rick back. Rick apologized for his past behavior, saying,
My choices, right? That's what a man does. A real man knows how to apologize, too. How to appreciate what I got at home, what kind of woman I have, and what I got to do to make her happy.
Judy, influenced by Rick, even got a tattoo at his suggestion. Anthony suspected letting Rick back into their lives was a mistake. He spent the night weightlifting instead of joining the family, determined to stay focused on his dreams. He also recalled painful childhood memories of Rick treating him poorly.
You know I'm not your dad, right? Hey, okay? I'm grateful you got somebody looking after you.
The next day, Coach Shawn announced that the final team selection was near. Only 22 wrestlers would make it, and the rest would have to leave.
Some of you are going to be on the Arizona State University wrestling team. For some of you, it's the end of the road.
That night, Anthony joined his family for dinner, but Rick continued to taunt him. Anthony didn't eat much, as he had a match that night, and Rick insisted on attending despite Anthony's objections. He insisted to come by using the excuse of,
How about this? Let's all go.
Yeah.
As a family, right?
That night, when Anthony was about to leave the house, the phone rang. It was someone who called for Rick, and he angrily told Anthony,
Sure.
I won't bother asking if he'll come to the phone. He's been avoiding me all week. Give him a message. When you get fired, you have to take your shit with you or it ends up in the trash. Got that?
Yeah,
After hearing this, Anthony went out and did not say a word to Rick. At the match, Anthony faced a much larger opponent while dealing with the weight of Rick's presence. Though the match was intense, Anthony couldn't secure a win that night. When Anthony got home, tension boiled over. Rick mocked Anthony about the game, and Anthony lost control and called him out, revealing that Rick had been fired from his job. Judy defended Anthony, but Rick turned the argument against her, telling her to,
You better think about what you have.
After that, Judy told Anthony to go to bed, leaving the situation unresolved. The next day, Anthony met Coach Shawn to find out if he could stay on the wrestling team. At first, Shawn talked about other things, but eventually he told Anthony that,
I'm moving Dorian to 133. I'm going to leave you at 125. Welcome to the team.
the news cheers Anthony up, and he guarantees his spot on the team. When he got home, he shared the good news with Judy, who was ironing Rick's clothes. She was overjoyed, kissed him, and said she always believed in him. However, Anthony noticed bruises on her hand. She realized Rick must have hurt her, but she firmly told him not to worry and said she could handle it.
Hey, you made the team. Besides, I can take care of myself.
Later, during Anthony's sophomore year, Coach Shawn gathered the team to deliver bad news.
Now, I don't like it any more than you men do, but that's the way of the world. If you don't make people money, they are not beholden to you. I did everything in my power to prevent this. I let you men down. I'm sorry.
This devastated everyone, including Anthony, who had been hoping to prove himself even more. At home, Judy felt sorry for Anthony when she heard the news. Thus, Anthony decided to work more hours instead. He admitted that Rick was somewhat right. Wrestling didn't pay bills, but working did.
Mom, it's just a sport. Doesn't put food on the table.
Judy didn't argue with him, even though wrestling was Anthony's passion. Thus, she cried inside for letting her son down. A few months later, in Anthony's junior year, he came home to find Judy arguing with a man from the bank. The man said they were 6 months behind on their mortgage and had 90 days to leave the house.
You have 90 days to vacate.
Judy was furious and tore up the papers, screaming at the men, saying,
Leave my property right now. I do not grant you permission to be here.
Mom.
I will call the police.
That night in the bedroom, Judy packed Rick's clothes while crying, saying she didn't know how to protect her kids from being homeless. Anthony watched and told her she needed to make a change.
Mom. Mom. Mom! You have to find a way out of this.
Tearfully, Judy agreed, and they called it a night. A few days later, Anthony found a bucket filled with bloody cotton pads, as though someone had been constantly pricked with needles. Confused, he drove around the neighborhood and discovered his mother at a blood donation tent. He approached her and asked how long she had been doing this. She admitted it hadn't been long, but insisted on,
I just do it sometimes. Without him, we need it. Let's go in.
Saddened, Anthony held her hand for comfort as they drove back home. That same day, Judy made several exhausting calls to the bank and other institutions to get a physical copy of their mortgage payment records.
Yes, hello. I was just trying to find out when my last mortgage payment was made. Well, if you don't have that information, can you tell me who does?
8503 East Harmony Avenue.
She finally managed to arrange its mailing to her address.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Coach Shawn called Anthony to his office. He revealed that several alumni had heard about the team's situation and pledged money to reinstate the wrestling program. However, this came with bad news. There would be an overall reduction in spending, meaning fewer wrestlers would be retained. Shawn explained that in order for Anthony to stay, every scholarship athlete would have to agree to take less money. Shawn presented Anthony with 2 jars, saying,
You got to put something like that to a vote. You have to be fair. 2 jars, 1 pro, 1 con. Every scholarship athlete got a vote, and it had to be unanimous.
Anthony felt distressed at the situation, but just then, Shawn revealed the vote had already taken place. The pro jar was filled with coins, guaranteeing Anthony's place on the team. Surprisingly, all his teammates were already in the office. They congratulated Anthony for being the bravest among them. They genuinely liked him and admitted he deserved his spot.
All right. Yeah, it was either that or none of us coming back.
The next day, Anthony wrestled against an opponent representing his school and successfully managed to defeat him. His name appeared in the news and his teammates cheered him on. Soon, he became a key member of the wrestling team, earning recognition for his accomplishments. Meanwhile, his mother Judy focused all her attention on fixing their financial debt. She began researching how the law works regarding mortgage payments and eventually went to the office of the man from the National Bank. She confidently told him,
Until which time you are prohibited from any further lending activity. But you already knew that.
Finally, Judy made the claim for her right to have 18 months to rectify her situation. The man seemed like he already knew this and finally agreed. Next, we see Anthony training in the gym with his teammates. During a break, his friend showed him who he should expect in the final matches: Matt McDonough. Apparently, Matt had never lost a match or even a single period in his college career. While his friends expected Anthony to be intimidated, he assured them that this was why he always came early to train harder than anyone else.
Why do you think I'm always here early?
Soon, the NCAA Wrestling Championship began, and Anthony qualified to participate. The competition had a remarkably high standard, but Anthony faced it with bravery and faith in himself. After a tough match, Anthony defeated his opponent and secured his spot in the finals. However, when he saw Matt from across the wrestling stage, he felt a surge of fear and doubt. His teammate reassured him, saying he would win because he was just as good as Matt and had put in the work. Anthony, however, pointed out,
He's not like everyone else. His father started him wrestling at 3, recruited at Iowa by 13, can do a 4.5 40 and bench press 245 for 10. He's never lost a match.
The next day, Anthony faced Matt in the highly anticipated match. The hype in the arena was immense, and the audience cheered for both competitors. Judy was also present, supporting her brave son. However, when the match started, Anthony made rush decisions and wrong moves in his desperation to defeat Matt. The tension of failure clouded his mind, and Matt eventually gained the upper hand, securing victory.
Brother pins him down, and it's over!
Anthony felt defeated, but his high school coach Bobby came to comfort him. Bobby told him,
There's no joy without pain. There's no success without failure. Gain and loss. They're two sides of the same coin.
Such advice like, why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. Although it didn't completely lift Anthony's spirits, he appreciated Bobby's support. Bobby then asked him a serious question. Why do you wrestle? Anthony answered saying,
If I don't win, if I come in second, for the rest of my life, I'll be telling everybody that I came this close. But coach, if I win, having one leg won't be the most important thing about me.
Soon, in his senior year, Anthony trained harder than ever, dedicating himself completely to proving his worth. One night when he returned home, he found the kids outside. They told him that their father Rick had arrived 30 minutes earlier and locked them out to talk with Judy. Anthony rushed inside and saw Rick threatening Judy and on the verge of hitting her. Anthony intervened, demanding that Rick leave them alone.
Rick, stop.
Anthony, please go outside.
What's up, son? I need you to leave. Go.
Rick, however, provoked Anthony, challenging him to a fight.
What's that?
Stop.
Oh, really? Huh? You ready for this?
Stop it!
Ready? You ready, man?
But Anthony managed to subdue Rick. Acting swiftly, Judy called the police, and soon the house was surrounded by patrol cars. Rick was handcuffed and taken to the station for domestic violence. Meanwhile, the family gathered inside, finally free from Rick's torment, and called it a night. The next day at school, Coach Shawn gathered the wrestling team for an announcement. He congratulated them on their efforts throughout the year and specifically praised Anthony for his relentless bravery in matches and training. Anthony felt proud and told his coach,
We're not done yet.
That's right.
We're gonna be champions.
1, 2.
At home, Anthony found his mother with a box full of letters. She seemed emotional and invited him to join her in reading them. The letters were from young people inspired by Anthony's story, sharing how he impacted their lives despite their own challenges. Judy was proud, but also teared up, apologizing for the choices she had made when he was a child. She admitted that she had once believed his disability was her punishment for her sins. But now she realized her choices after his birth made it harder for Anthony to accept himself.
Who you are already is enough. You make people believe in something. When they see you, they don't see someone who's missing a leg. They see someone who is unstoppable. And that makes them believe in themselves.
Finally, Anthony reached the 2011 NCAA Wrestling Championships. Once again, he showcased his skills, defeating 3 opponents and maintaining his focus and confidence. However, when he saw Matt on the broadcast and realized they might have a rematch in the finals, he became stressed. Matt and his coach made dismissive comments about Anthony's missing leg during the interview.
Because he has one less leg to grab, others saying that he should have to weigh in with a prosthetic leg.
Look, at Iowa, we don't accept excuses. Matt is the reigning national champion for a reason. There's not a wrestler in the building who has any possibility of winning.
Coach Shawn turned off the TV and encouraged Anthony, saying,
Ain't nothing to it but to do it, Anthony.
I like that one.
Soon, Anthony regained his composure and stopped doubting himself. The moment of the rematch arrived. Anthony faced the highly skilled top-seeded Matt McDonough. Unlike their previous match, Anthony now appeared calmer and more strategic. The match was intense, with Matt fighting relentlessly. However, in a hard-fought battle, Anthony demonstrated remarkable technique, focus, and resilience.
Now Anthony Robles strikes first. There's two for the Sun. Robles with this.
At the end, against the odds, Anthony defeated Matt and secured the national championship title. The stadium erupted in celebration, with Judy running to embrace her son. The mother and son shared an emotional moment, while Coach Shawn cheered ecstatically. The film concludes by highlighting Anthony's achievements beyond college. Anthony Robles was a real-life athlete who became the first to sign with Nike after retiring from wrestling. He is now a motivational speaker and wrestling coach, inspiring others to overcome their challenges. His mother, Judy, also achieved great things. She joined college, graduating from Arizona State University in 2014, and earned her doctorate in education in 2022. She is currently the Assistant Dean of Students at Arizona State University. Don't forget to subscribe and put likes. Only here you will find the best recaps of good movies. See you soon.